Hello everyone, my name is JeJe Noval, registered dietitian and assistant professor at Loma Linda University, School of Allied Health Professions, Department of Nutrition and Dietetics. I would like to invite you to stay tuned because we have a wonderful show for you that will definitely be so helpful. And I would like to welcome you to the first episode of The Dietitians. And we are so fortunate today that our graduate students, who are all students in the Nutrition and Dietetics Department, are here to share with you how you can eat well without having to spend a lot of money. So stay tuned as we have here Jennifer Maddox, who will be sharing with you, as well as Lacey Davidson, Anahid Jalali, and Kanika Bhatia. All right, ladies, please show us what you have in store for us today.
Thank you, JeJe. All right, again, hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of The Dietitians. First, we want to ask you, do you find yourself stopping at the grocery store 2, 3, maybe even 4 times each week? Or maybe you're picking up fast food because it's cheaper or quicker to feed your family. Or have you heard someone say, or perhaps even said it yourself, it's just too expensive to eat healthy? Well, we're here today to tell you that that just isn't true. So the 4 of us here, we're graduate students, as JeJe mentioned, and we don't have a lot of time or money in our budgets to take regular multiple trips to the grocery store each week. But what we do have time for, and we make time for, is a little strategic planning to make each trip to the grocery store time efficient and then cost effective. So also, as soon-to-be dietitians, we feel it's not just enough to teach our patients about which foods have health-promoting properties. We also want to teach them where they can find these foods at the grocery store and then how to transform these foods into healthy meals to feed their families. And so without further ado, I think Jennifer is going to talk to us about the shopping list.
I couldn't agree with you more when it comes to stopping at the grocery store during the week. That's such a pain. Not only am I a student, but I'm a mom and an employee too. And I don't have time during the week to make that special trip. So every weekend, I make a grocery list, kind of like the one you see on your screen. What I do is I make a list of all the meals I'm going to make that week. Then the ingredients that I need to make those meals go onto my grocery list. And then while I'm at home, I can check the pantry, I can check the kitchen just to see if I already have those items. So when I get to the grocery store, I'm not guessing, oh, do I already have this at home? And so it prevents me from buying that item that I don't actually need. So that saves me time and money. So another thing that it helps me do is having a grocery list helps prevent me from buying those snack items that are unhealthy that you just kind of grab and go. So if it's not on my grocery list, I'm not likely to buy it. So now that we have our grocery list, are we ready to go to the store?
Absolutely. Let's go shopping. What do you guys think?
Great.
Okay, so in today's episode, we instead of it taking place in an actual grocery store, we've prepared some graphics that we're going to show on the screen from time to time, and it'll highlight the different sections of the grocery store that we want you to encourage you to shop at. And most of these are going to be the perimeter of the grocery store. This is where the healthy foods are located, and you won't be traveling into the aisles, center aisles so much, and get caught up on all of those marketing tricks and all of those impulse buys that we really want you to avoid. So the 3 tips that we want to share with you before we actually go shopping are, number 1, leave your kids at home if it's possible at all. And number 2, never shop while you're hungry. You're going to buy a lot of things that you don't really need just because you're starving. And then number 3, as we mentioned, we want to encourage you to shop the perimeter, the outside edges of the grocery store. This is where you're going to find the best foods to make the healthiest meals and for not a lot of money. So I think the first area of the grocery store that we're going to stop at is the produce section, right?
Right, Lacey. So the first section that you will see in the corner is the produce. Fruits and vegetables are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fibers. They're a great source of nutrients while adding very few calories to your diet. So when it comes to fruits and vegetables, you want to go for a whole spectrum of colors. You want to add more colors to your diet and make it look nicer and tastier. The other thing you want to pay attention when it comes to fruits and vegetables is the season. When you purchase in season, it helps you reduce the cost, and also it gives more flavor, taste, and also freshness to your diet. So to keep on budget while eating in season, you want to shop at the local stores when they have good deals. The way to find good deals is to look at your newspapers or the store flyers. The other tip you can use is that when it comes to shopping in the farmer's market, you want to go to the end of the day. You want to go to the farmer's market at the end of the day when they're more willing to negotiate the price with you. Also, you'd want to get your fruits and vegetables whole, not pre-cut, because when you cut it your own, you can save up to 50%. And finally, you can
Can you buy your vegetables in a can?
Oh, actually, yes. You can buy fruits and vegetables in can, which are cheaper in terms of the price.
Perfect. All right. So I think the next section then of the grocery store that we typically run into is the deli section. Is that a good section to shop at?
Deli and meat are the two most profitable sections in the store. So when it comes to deli, you want to choose legumes instead of deli. They're more packed with nutrients. They are low naturally in cholesterol. They don't have any cholesterol actually, and they're very low in fat content. And they're high in magnesium, fiber, both soluble and insoluble fiber that can help you reduce your cholesterol level and also help your digestion. And when it comes to choosing legumes, you can go for canned ones, but you want to pay attention to the sodium content. Also, it's good to know that legumes, which are lentils, beans, peas, are very high in protein contents. For example, half a cup of cooked beans can give you about 16 grams of protein.
Wow.
So you can save money and also get very nutritious food.
All right. That sounds great.
And now we're going to move on to the next section, which is the dairy.
Dairy. Thank you. So when we are going to the dairy and egg area of the store, we have to keep few considerations in mind. That whenever you are going to shop for a dairy or dairy products, try to look for 1%, 2% reduced fat, low fat, or light kind of milk. Either pasteurized or ultra pasteurized, you can go for any of these, but if you are shopping for a growing children or for the teenagers, never go for such kind of milk that I mentioned. You have to go for a whole milk because they need extra calories to meet their extra demands. And
what if you are lactose intolerant? Do you have any recommendations for that?
That's a good question.
oh yeah, very good question. If you find anyone lactose intolerant, there are certain options available for them also, like rice milk, almond milk, soy milk, and definitely soy milk being a very good source of protein. It is having a very high therapeutic value also in counteracting with cancers and other diseases. So the market is flooded with number of options for the lactose intolerant people as well. And when it comes to the egg selection, it is always wiser to go for white, large eggs instead of brown eggs. Certain people have got misconception that brown eggs are better, they are more nutritious. It's not like that. The white ones are better than the brown ones. So I'll just invite Anahid, if you can just focus on the frozen area of the store.
Sure, Kanika. So the next aisle you'll encounter in the corner is the frozen foods. When it comes to frozen foods, you want to go for frozen fruits and vegetables. So why do you want to go for frozen foods when you have fresh? Because they're cheaper. Frozen foods are fresher. They can be used as fresh, and also they're more nutritious when it comes to comparison with the fresh ones. And when it comes to saving money, you also can choose canned fruits and vegetables over the fresh ones. And what you want to pay attention when choosing canned foods is the sodium content as well as the amount of sugar. So for vegetables, you want to make sure it's low sodium or no sodium added. And for fruits, you want to make sure that it is in pure fruit juice, 100% fruit juice, and no added syrup.
Anahid, I like how you mentioned salt being sometimes in our canned vegetables. Well, if you're watching your sodium intake, it's also a good thing to go down the frozen aisle for your vegetables. A lot of times they're not packed with sodium. They're completely eliminated. So you can purchase your vegetables in the frozen aisle. Another tip to save money on the frozen aisle is to buy the store brand name, like Trader Joe's, instead of the popular name brand. Sometimes it's the same vegetable, but the big popular brand name is going to be more expensive. So that's another way. Just check the label to make sure that the vegetables are both the same.
Great. And on that note, I think it's time that we share our Savvy Shopper secret. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
perfect. So the Savvy Shopper secret is the unit price. So you're probably wondering, what is the unit price? So the unit price is the cost of the item divided by the number of units that that item contains. So for example, it could be in ounces, in pounds, in gallons. And sometimes, or most of the time, you can find the unit price on the shelf sticker next to the sale label or how much the item costs. And this will tell you which one is going to be the better deal when you're doing a price comparison. The product, if a product if it's not listed, the unit price isn't listed, it's really simple to figure out. You just take the cost of the item and divide it by the number of units. And sometimes you may have to pay a little more up front to buy the larger size, but this is going to save you money in the long run, as long as it's an item that you're going to use frequently. You don't want to buy something that's perishable and it's going to expire before you use it all. So on that note, Kanika, I think you were going to tell us about bread, something that does have an expiration date and you have to use pretty frequently.
Sure. When it comes to bread, people have got misconception that whatever is brown is like made up of whole grains. But I have few tips. If whenever you are looking for the purchasing of whole grains, always look for 100% whole wheat to be the very first ingredient on the ingredient list. That basically ensures that whatever you are buying is 100% whole grain. So when it comes to whole grain, I am not only covering the breads, it covers soft tortillas, it covers basically the loaves, the buns as well as, and just make sure that 100% whole grain is written on the front label.
What about things like rice? Or other cereal grains?
When it comes to rice, it is wiser to go for brown rice. And go for a brown rice which is longer in size. It is having a high fiber content, and we know, as my friend just emphasized, the importance of fiber in our diet. So when it comes to other grains like breakfast cereals, at least make sure that you are having 50% of whole grain in your breakfast cereals.
Wow, that's great information, Kanika. Now, throughout this segment, we've told you that we encourage you to shop the perimeter of the grocery store, but sometimes you do have to travel down those center aisles, and that's where those marketing tricks are lurking. They're ready for you to buy those things that you really just don't need. So when we do travel down those center aisles for things like beverages, what should we be looking for, Kanika?
Yeah, when it comes to beverages, I would like to include sodas, the plain water, and the juices. So when it comes to juices, try to focus on the label that it says that it has 100% juice.
Okay.
So there are several brands which says it's less than 20%, it's more than 60%. So that is not our concern. Our concern is basically to look for the 100% fruit juice on the front label itself. And when it comes to other drinks like sodas and all, so that is not my recommendation. A person should not go for sodas, for energy drinks, for sports drinks, until and unless you are a sports person.
Right. And they're pricey. They're really expensive. So we might as well just buy water, right?
Definitely. So
Or
when
the
it comes to such drinks, they are expensive and they are like you're compromising with your health as well. So stay tuned with us. Stay tuned with us for the segment second, in which we'll show you some healthy recipes. Thank you.
All right. So let's start the second segment.
I have to go get the grocery bag.
Oh. Yeah.
I need the grocery bag.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So Jennifer has just went to grab the things that we picked up from the grocery store. And on our quick little shopping trip that we made before we started this segment.
All right.
So
we just got back from the grocery store.
Okay.
Let me tell you, we saved a lot of money, didn't we, girls?
We really did save a lot of money.
All right. Well, now we're going to tell you how to prepare a hearty vegetable stew. And I like this recipe because you can double it, and then you can use the leftovers for other meals throughout the week. And let's see what else we have in here. Oh, lentils. Have you guys ever had lentils before?
I love lentils.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're going to make a great addition to this stew.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things with these. This is a type of legume. Hanukkah, can you tell us a little bit more?
The viewers can see.
This is one type of legume which is very rich in protein and fiber as well, and again I am emphasizing the importance of fiber in our health. So we can have lentils. That is one of the types of lentils only. So we can have lentils in several recipes like stew, soup, salads, and certain traditional or conventional Asian cuisines. So they basically contribute to a major healthy portion in your diet. But Anahat, can you help me out in that? I have heard many a times that they basically hard on your stomach. So can you tell me a few ways how to resolve with that?
Sure, Kanika. Many people avoid eating legumes and lentils, which is included as part of legumes, because of the digestive discomfort. So two things you can do to overcome that. One is soaking your legumes, your beans, your peas, and your lentils a day ahead. And what you want to do is that when you soak it in water, you want to change the water 3 to 4 times before starting using it. So when you do that, it actually helps removing the outer layer of your legumes, which is a particular sugar called oligosaccharides. And these oligosaccharides are not digestible by human digestive system. So when you soak them, it removes the outer layer. The other thing that is helpful when you soak is that there is a phytochemical. Actually, there is there's a compound in your legumes that is called phytic acid. And what phytic acid does is that it reduces the absorption of nutrients in your legumes, such as zinc or magnesium. So again, when you soak your legumes, it removes or reduces the amount of phytic acid. And also, many times people don't wash their legumes. So when you soak them, again, it's a way to remove the debris or any dust that may be in the legumes. The other way you can do, the other thing you can do actually to make it more digestible is to sprout. And the way you can sprout your legumes is that a day ahead again, you start changing the water 3 to 4 times, and at the end of the day you want to get a cotton fabric and you soak it in water. You want to make sure that it retains enough water. Sure. And then you pour all your legumes that you have soaked ahead and put it in the wet fabric and let it stay overnight. And the next day you'll see these tiny little germinations, and that's the time you want to start using your legumes.
Oh, wonderful.
So Anna, do you have to soak your beans for a long time, and do you have to add anything to them?
You don't really need to add anything, and sometimes if you want to save some extra time, is that you boil water and then you add your legumes, let it boil for 3 to 4 minutes, and then remove the water again.
Oh, wow. That's some great tips. All right. Well, what do you guys say we get started with this stew?
Sounds great.
Okay. Excellent. So what we have here to get this stew started are some just staple vegetables that I always keep in the refrigerator, some carrots and celery, and also some staple vegetables from the pantry that we keep in a cool, dark space so they don't go bad. We have some garlic, some onion, and also some potato. So we've chopped all these up here, and I think we have our pot ready. So we'll just go ahead and add our ingredients. Got it turned up there? So what we're going to start with to saute the vegetables is a little bit of olive oil. I love using olive oil. It's one of the healthiest oils that you can use. It's a monounsaturated fat. And basically this just means it's super healthy. I would also suggest using a canola oil or maybe a sunflower oil or safflower oil. These are also great options to use for sauteing. So first, instead of adding all of the vegetables in at once, we want to start with the aromatic ingredients. This is going to be the garlic and then also the onions. And we just want to let these cook down a little bit until they're slightly translucent and they start releasing their aroma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we'll start with those.
Now, Lacey, did you spend a lot of time cutting up these vegetables?
You know, a lot of people think that it takes forever to chop your vegetables, and it really doesn't. Chopping vegetables doesn't take much time at all. I think I did this in maybe a minute or two, and I actually think it's a form of relaxation.
Wow.
You know, I find it very relaxing, very therapeutic just to sit and chop my vegetables. Maybe I'm a little bit angry, or I think I didn't do so well on an exam, and I'll just sit and chop up all of these vegetables. Now, the order of ingredients when you're adding your vegetables to cook, you want to start with the heartiest vegetables first. So the potatoes and the carrots, those are going to have to cook the longest. And so you want to put those in there first so they'll start to cook down before you add in all the rest of your ingredients. Okay. Let's see. I think, Kanika, you were going to tell us what we can add to this
To enhance.
to enhance the flavor.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have got some spices with us like turmeric, cinnamon and cumin that basically enhances the flavor and aroma of the stew. So that sensitize, stimulate your taste buds also, and basically adds to the therapeutic value. Turmeric being antiseptic, cinnamon being anti-diabetic and cumin being anti-inflammatory. So that basically healthy as well as enhancing the flavor and aroma of your stew. So let's see how does it work. We'll just put all at once.
Kanika, you had mentioned cinnamon being anti-diabetic. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that says basically it controls the blood glucose level, and moreover it enhances the flavor and aroma as well.
Oh, wow, it does smell wonderful. You're right. I think the next ingredients were going to be the canned vegetables. You were going to add those on a heap?
Sure. So again, when it comes to canned vegetables, there is a simple rule of thumb. You want to look at the daily value, which is written on the right column. It's written in percent. And anything that is 5% or lower is basically low in sodium content or sugar. And anything with 20% or higher is high content. And here we have, for this product, we have 10%. It's slightly high, but what you can do is also look at the sodium milligrams. So we have 240 milligrams. And if you're not going to use the whole can, for example, if you want to use the half of the can, you can divide this amount by 2 or whatever that you're going to use. So
is that 240 milligram of sodium makes 10% of the daily value?
Yes. Okay. So it's per serving, Kanika. So
okay.
When you see the DV value, it's per serving. The other thing you want to pay attention when choosing your canned food is the ingredient list. Ingredients list should be very short. The shorter, the better. And you want to look for the most natural ingredients. And usually the 3 first are the ones that are the main ingredients in the higher amounts that are used in any foods. So now we're going to add our canned tomatoes.
And again, it's great to get the tomatoes canned because sometimes you can't find those fresh tomatoes, you know, and this is in the off season. I think canned is a great way.
And one other thing, Lacey, is that canned tomato is actually more condensed in the lycopene content.
Oh yeah.
So you get more nutrients, you get more antioxidants compared to the fresh ones.
Great. Good to know. Okay, what else were we going to add?
And we're going to add, actually we're going to let that cook for a while and then add the paste.
Okay, so Kanika, in the meantime, did you want to tell us about the tasty beverages?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely, I'll give you a recipe of homemade, cost-effective, tasty beverage that basically use flavored water.
Okay.
Now you might ask, why flavored water?
Yeah.
Many of us basically doesn't like the original taste of water. At least I'm the person who doesn't like the original taste of water.
I can't stand the taste of water.
Oh yeah, I knew it. So many of us cannot. So this is the plain water I have. So if we just put some slices of either cucumber or mint, as you can see here, lemon. So just put these slices straight to the water and keep it for a while. That basically release the flavor of cucumber to the water, and that makes the water flavored water. And after you are done with that flavored water, you can have flavored water to make the further homemade cost-effective energy drink. So now I would like invite you to taste this and tell me the difference between the original taste of water and the flavored water.
Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Oh wow, it's very refreshing.
Oh, thanks.
Just a
Thanks,
little
you
bit of
liked it.
cucumber.
Thanks, you liked it. So that is our flavored water, and to make cost-effective homemade energy drink, I'll give you a recipe. If you want to make 1 glass of an energy drink, there is no need to buy expensive Gatorades. There is no need to buy expensive soda or flavors from outside the market. You just have 1 glass of water. You can have flavor or original, whatever you want to. And then just add 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Now, why is it you're adding the sugar?
Yeah, basically sugar gives you calories. And when we'll proceed with the recipe, we'll come to know that I am adding lemon, the source of potassium, and salt, the source of sodium. So when you feel dehydrated, when you feel less of energy, it's basically the loss of calories as well as the electrolytes.
Oh, and the potassium and the sodium, those are the electrolytes.
And glucose,
glucose
helps in the transport of sodium across the intestine. So that basically gives you electrolyte as well as a source of energy.
Okay.
So that is a complete energy drink instead of being just empty calories like sodas or Gatorade.
Okay.
So here we go, 1/4 of teaspoon of table salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Okay. Now, while you finish that, I think Jennifer, she was going to dish up the soup so we can try it.
This is our final product. I was just going to add a little
ladies, it smells
cilantro.
so good.
Doesn't that look good?
Oh, and it's so colorful.
I think we're ready to try it.
Oh, can I came at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Wonderful. This is great. And it didn't cost that much to prepare this dish.
So cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Oh, that looks
smells
wonderful.
really
Can I
good.
try it?
Go for it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, wow.
Right. And we want to thank everyone again just for tuning in to this episode of The Dietitians.
Fantastic.
Hopefully we were able to show you how to prepare and shop for healthy and cost-effective foods for your family. So thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. And we will see you next time in our next episode. And remember, in order to live well, you have to eat well.